Adventures in Supply Chain Podcast is pleased to present this video episode of the Coronavirus and Supply Chain series with Khyati S, Product Manager Leader at Panasonic North America. Khyati is an innovative and customer-focused product manager that follows agile methodologies for software development and works closely with developers, marketing, and sales members to scale the product growth. Currently, Khyati is leading Panasonic product, warehouse management systems, and a global team of software engineers from the USA, India, Vietnam, and China. At Panasonic, Khyati has held different roles including Senior Business Analyst and Customer Success Lead. When Khyati is not working, you will find her on her women wellness coaching business and listening to Audible books by great mentors like Robin Sharma. In this episode, we will talk about the following. What is Agile Scrum Project Management? What is different from the traditional project management? When is Agile Scrum Project Management more appropriate? What is the role of technology and data? This episode is sponsored by USM Supply Chain. USM stands for Unstoppable, Scalable, Mindful Supply Chain. Check us out at usmsupplychain.com to scale up your profits together with your supply chain. And now with you, your host Marcia, and our amazing guest, Khyati.
Good afternoon, Khyati. A pleasure to have you on the show, so welcome.
Thank you so much, Marcia, for having me today.
No, of course, it's an honor. And we have heard the introduction about you, but we would like to know from you directly about your organization, because most of us have something from your company, that is Panasonic, one of the largest companies in the world, at home. So if you could please give us a brief overview, that would be great.
Yeah, thank you so much. So definitely I myself grew up with having Panasonic, some appliance in our house like batteries or television. So it is an iconic brand, and Panasonic, is a huge believer of better life, a better world. So every product that we invented and we support is basically trying to serve a better good for humanity. And we want to make sure that we keep people as a center at all our product creation. This division that I work in Chicago area is part of Panasonic manufacturing. And we focus on providing solutions to the smart factories and manufacturing companies for all the software and manufacturing execution systems needs.
Great. And of course you are doing a great job, because I like very much your products. And tell us now about yourself, because I have seen on LinkedIn that you are helping international students, and also your role at Panasonic that is going to be related to the theme today that we are going to talk about, project management and communication with different stakeholders.
Yes, thank you so much. So my role with Panasonic is all about delivering solutions to customers' problems, right? So in the product management role, right now, I am working on their material management software, which is one of the portfolio of products that we promote to smart manufacturing factories. And the reason is that all our softwares, they tie into a solution for a customer. So what I want to do with my platform on LinkedIn is to enable international students and young generation to think about a solution. Don't think about a product, but think about product as a solution, and always expand your knowledge on what your product is doing for the humanity.
Yes, and that's so important, right? It's like aligned with Panasonic that the customer is first. So you provide solution that addresses issues instead of talking about more like the technical aspect that sometimes we can get lost. So it's great, right? And you mentioned materials. So my next question is about how do you collaborate with supply chain and procurement?
Yes, so including Panasonic and all companies now are driving their business model to solution-driven business models, right? We are no more just a hardware company. We are no more a software company. Everybody has to think about integration between software and the hardware world. So for example, my own product has to work in conjunction with our scanners, right? So we have to think about forecasting with supply chain. All our hardwares are available to our customers. So when we are proposing a solution, we look at the forecasting of our software roadmap that align with our products that are in the market and customer expectations, and our hardware supply chain and procurement to make sure that the solutions that we are proposing have all the hardware available just in time, at customers' demand, at customers' implementation time. So we have to work pretty much in real time to make sure that our solutions are current, they are relatable, and they are available right now.
Yes, great. Yes, the focus on the customer. Yes, and so would you say that that is the critical factor to succeed? Because when you have many stakeholders, right, and the projects are major projects, I imagine that is challenging to cover the different perspectives and understand them and to manage conflict. So what are the key elements to have success in your role, and also the key challenges that you face?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, right now, because of COVID, everybody has had product challenges, supply chain logistics challenges. Also, so as a product, when you're delivering a product to the customers, you have to think, how are you going to work in conjunction with all these challenges? So three key challenges that I think with software and supply chain and procurement is look at your partners. Are they available? Are they in backlog? Are they available to deliver the solution with you? So we keep our eyes on our partners, relationships. We also look at different current country requirements. So different countries have different requirements for China market or Europe market or America. So we work in conjunction with our sales companies to make sure that we understand other country requirements. And that our software is ready with those changes. Do we need to pivot? Do we need to enhance? Do we need to support our solution, which will then be delivered a few months from now in conjunction with all these partnerships?
Great.
So we keep our eye on the forecast and the future.
Great, great. So it goes beyond like your internal team, right? It goes beyond that your internal customers. It goes up to all the partners, and that is an excellent point. Yes. And the theme for today is about project management, and there's a methodology that is Agile Scrum project management, and we hear about that, but could you please explain what it entails?
Yes, yes. So, you know, as you can see, the world is moving at a very fast pace, and every company has to keep up their software solutions at that fast pace. So how do we adapt with this moving world? And before, the software and hardware companies, if they would deliver a solution or a product or a feature every 1 year or 2 years, it was okay, but not anymore. Customers
Yes.
cannot wait for 6 months or a year for a deliverable or a solution. So Agile is a methodology that we can adapt, and Panasonic and other companies move towards that so that we can deliver our solution at a much faster pace to the end user. So Scrum is one of the method we are using in Agile to manage our process, manage our product roadmap, and deliver a end solution that is viable in a very short amount of time, maybe 2 weeks to 4 weeks, get something that is workable to a customer, get that feedback, and then change if you need to change. So you're reducing your risk, you're reducing the amount of time you're spending making a particular product. You take the feedback very fast and you can adapt and change and deliver again a modified product in a very short amount of time. So I would recommend this to any customer or any companies or any customer or a product company that has to keep up with a fast-paced environment.
Yes, so precisely for this moment. And that's great. So you ask the customer for feedback, and then based on that feedback, very fast you make the changes, right? I see. No, that's perfect. And so in your perspective, what are the key difference with the traditional project management? Maybe the pace?
Yes, there are definitely 3 key differences that I can think of, right? One is that we have reduced the amount of time it takes to get to market. Okay, to achieve that, we have to adapt certain methodologies and certain things and let go of certain things. Example, we try to do more on the fly discussion and documentation, and don't go back to waterfall methodology where everything is scripted, written, reviewed, and then go into development and then go into production. By the time it even goes to production, the entire requirement has changed 1 year later or 2 years later. With Agile, you have less documentation, smaller sprint cycles, you're getting the product to the customer in hand, you get the feedback, and you can complete that circle much faster, less cost, less risk, and more customer feedback, more customer interaction. So that is the key differentiator. You know, you are getting a customer feedback who really needs this solution to guide you and drive you. Are you really on the right path?
Yes. No, and I see that it's more advanced, and as you were saying, based on the customer. So it allows for a higher speed to deliver the results, and at the same time you are making sure that the results that you are delivering are in accordance to their expectations, as it is so fast and you are getting feedback. No, that's great.
Yes.
Yes. And now I have a question more about data and technology, because when you do this, that is so important. I have heard the same comment from many business leaders, like to have that communication and to be responsive. So how do you see the importance of data and technology?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Marcia. And we are all driving towards predictive analysis, right? And machine learning and helping our product managers, our leaders decide where to invest, which product to pursue, which market to go after. But all of this can happen only if we analyze the data that we are collecting. So a lot of our companies, hardware-driven companies, have collected, a lot of market analysis data, equipment usage data, different market, different segment data. But now with machine learning and with AI, we are actually investing and making this data to be smarter and to work for us, so that we make this entire next generation of investment not as a guesswork, but actually more scientific. So this actually is being utilized as a model by all companies, saying how can we leverage our data to be smarter decision-making policies.
Yes, no, that's perfect. So not only that you analyze the data like historical analysis in a way, but you also, with that analysis, helps you to do predictive analytics, right? To anticipate also.
Yes. So for customers and we have customers in all market segments, so our data can help us analyze their habits. Should we run certain advertisements in certain markets? Should we use our advertisements on certain platforms? What platforms should we promote our product? So there are a lot of questions that products and solution companies have to answer to go after, because you have limited resources from people, budget. So you cannot go after all the market segments or all the different areas and avenues. You have to decide for your company, for your product, what is the best avenues. And that can only happen if you dig into your data. Where are your consumers most reaching out to you on? Where are they spending most of their money on which products, which market segments, which product segments, and then you can leverage that to expand in that area.
Perfect. Yes. Yes, no, that's very interesting. And of course, data can give us, if we use it correctly, as you are saying, it allows us to focus right on the right priorities and give us an advantage. It's incredible all what you are doing that with this advanced use of data. And Khyati, in your view, does the coronavirus accelerate the use of data and technology, or not? Or are companies postponing those transformations?
So that's a good question. I think from what I have seen companies do is everybody is accessing and leveraging the data. Because right now, everybody cannot move around and cannot go to the customers to get the customer inputs. So what better way than to look internally to the data that the companies have collected and analyze and spend time with the current tools that you have available in the market, with the machine learning, with the AI, to say, what have we been doing all this time? Where can we invest next? And this is the time right now for companies to reflect, pivot, change their strategy if they have to, go to different market segments that they never considered before. So this is actually the entire opportunity for every company to leverage that data and invest in the technologies that the data drives you to.
Yes, it's like the moment is now. It's the perfect opportunity, as you are saying.
Yes.
Great. And you also have vast experience in manufacturing, warehousing. Well, you have in so many areas, but also in those. And what do you see as critical aspect to make transformations in those environments, for example, in manufacturing?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. And if you see, Marcia, that lot of logistics companies and lot of supply chain industrial companies are all actually working at a much faster pace than before, because even with the coronavirus shutdown, the global logistics actually had to step up and we had to deliver innovative solutions to our customers who are meeting that world demand of maneuvering coronavirus. So while the world is shut down, the trucks are still running, our railroads is running, our airplanes are running. So 3 areas that I have seen companies are investing in. Number 1 is automation, right? Lot of companies are automating their warehouses or their ports and other putting the investment into automating the equipment. Second thing is focusing on the quality of the amount of products they are making. Are you making a quality product? Let's focus on that while we have limited time and resources. What is the quality of the product that we are selling? So companies are adapting to like Six Sigma methodology to make sure that the errors are extremely low and the margin of errors, the defect rate is very low, so they can actually maximize the max out of the resources and the products that they are making, right? So you want to reduce your defect rate. That will indirectly reduce your cost and reduce your wastage. And number three is basically companies are improving on the processes. Right now is a great time to invest and look at internally, what is the process that you're following? Should we change our process to be more optimized? Is there anywhere we can put in our investment, maybe in training, maybe in technology to improve our processes? Maybe we can make some things automated, invest in our employees to have some skill sets that will help you improve the process, invest in MRP, ERP systems that will help you improve, automate the process. So companies are looking at these three key areas right now, and this is what will help them continue to keep up with the market demand with the constrictions of coronavirus.
Wow, very relevant point. And I really like your second point about Six Sigma. And now I have a question. Do you see that we can have Six Sigma and the Agile methodology at the same time? Like being very dynamic, can we do both?
Yeah, I have seen companies adapt to both because especially if you are a company that is solution driven from hardware and software perspective. So how do you improve your efficiencies on both sides of the spectrum, right? So if you adapt to Agile, your software will improve, your software delivery, the software turnaround. And if you adapt to Six Sigma, your hardware, your defects and your software defects, all that will reduce. So you're actually bringing efficiencies in from end to end.
Great, great. So we need to apply both at the same time. That's great. And what are your final thoughts, or what is your advice that you would provide to business leaders in this moment that we are still having issues with the pandemic? So what is the actions that would you recommend to other leaders?
Right now, I think all leaders are focusing on being proactive and being nimble. How can you change your strategy with the changing environment, changing global environment? And so most 3 points that I would recommend most leaders, all leaders to focus on is your current strategy serving you? And if not, where should your company strategy be so that you can still serve the same customers, but in a different way? Second thing is your organization nimble and lean enough to maneuver around these kind of challenging times? And if not, should you change some processes and change your team structure to be more flexible and more nimble? And third advice is to look at the investment in technology, because this is a great time that technology is going to enable all the manpower that we can have. You cannot go exponentially on your manpower to meet with the demands. You have to invest in technology to meet with the customer demand or global demand, or taking your company from a small scale to a big scale global company. So you have to look at what technology have you invested in? Should we stick with that technology, or should we add some technologies to the solution to bring our company at a more competitive level? The three things that I would say, companies should look at.
Very valuable insight, Khyati. I enjoy it. That was great. And I appreciate all the information that you have provided. I also like the way that you did that, because you enumerate the different points, so it's actionable at the same time for the audience. So thank you so much for being here and for sharing your insight. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, thank you.